peeps, your ginger girly is back, and well, I had so much response from you guys on my last video regarding the wokery criticism with Doctor Who. So I thought I'd make a second video in response to your comments. I don't think I'm going to be able to read all of them because there is quite a lot. But on a separate note, I'm not sure what you all thought of the part 1 finale, Wishworld. I personally quite liked it. It's probably the first time I've properly got into Doctor Who in a very, very long time. I wasn't quite sure what I thought of the Doctor's lover appearing on the screen. To me, that was a little bit stupid. And I'm not too sure what's going on with the wardrobe today. I just put this on because I thought it looked quite like Space Lady, Doctor Who vibe. So I just sort of chucked this on. 150, 160 approx comments from you all. So let's get into it. First, like, knew you as a director. Looking forward to your content as a YouTuber. Oh, thank you, Wayne. Thank you. Well, I hope I'll do somewhat okay as a YouTuber. You shall wait with bated breath. This is wonderful news. He was absolutely terrible. What Ncuti Gatwa? Again, as I said in my last video, in my opinion, the best Doctor ever has always been David Tennant, and then if I had to choose a second favourite, it would be Matt Smith. I like Ncuti, I did say it in my last video, and I don't think the storylines do his acting much justice, and I don't like how he cries in most of his scenes. I don't particularly like to criticise him as an actor. I personally don't think that's fair because I wouldn't say he's a terrible actor. I just think Doctor Who isn't doing him much justice at the moment. If Doctor Who goes on hiatus and comes back in a few years, who would be your choice to play the Doctor? Oh gosh, yeah, there's a question. I wasn't expecting that. I did read this really bizarre rumour which has been going around for quite some time now about Danny Dyer potentially being the Doctor, which I do think is a load of shite. I don't think that's true. I'm not saying I would like him to be the Doctor, but I think that would really intrigue me because he's a proper Cockney. Yeah, that would get me watching it again because I like him as an actor. You know, given the choice, who would I choose? I've got 2 British actors that have come to mind that I think would do very well with it. Considering one of them has actually started doing Harry Potter films, then I don't think it would be too off course for him. Personally, I would like to see Jude Law as the Doctor. I think it'd just be really interesting to see how he would pull that off. But the person I think I would really want to see as the Doctor, who has actually been in it as a villain in the Christopher Eccleston era, Simon Pegg. Oh my god, I would, hands down, I would love to see Simon Pegg as the next Doctor. If it was up to me, yeah, Simon Pegg. If I was in charge, I would be like, Simon, please be our Doctor. And then Jude Law would be like a runner-up if you said no. I've been arguing with wokies for weeks. It's cancelled while the so-called liberals called everyone names and hated on them for calling this show out. I certainly feel vindicated and can't wait to glow. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I was really mad after watching The Timeless Children and was happy that Stephen left, but my god, I can forgive that episode for the tripe that Russell has been peddling that last few seasons. It's like the writers are trapped inside a mirrored gay disco ball. Good word in here, Carl Blackburn. I've taken to watching old episodes instead now. Yeah, I have as well. When I'm in a Doctor Who mood, I will typically choose to either watch the Christopher Eccleston era or the David Tennant era or the Matt Smith era. Anything after that, I won't entertain. I'd honestly give Stephen another chance after rewatching Forest of the Dead. Oh, that was good. The checklist of failures that have been in the last few seasons is near endless. This Doctor cries so much he should be wearing tampon sunglasses. He had feelings, but he bottles them up and cracked on with the job. Now he just cries and gets everyone killed and has to be saved by everyone else. I even heard they were thinking about Billy Piper as the next generation. A Doctor so gay he turns into his ex-female lover. What was the storyline going to be? Go and find the Doctor that is staying with Donna and spark up a relationship with himself? That would probably just make the Doctor look completely narcissistic in that respect. I wonder if the Oh, hi. When a white, racist, homophobic, that is, stuck in a religious cult talks about Doctor Who media lies. Your views are disgusting and dated. To anyone that is reading this, the best way to watch this vomit video is with a sleep eye mask and the volume turned off. Mr. Quantum Wellness, why would you torture yourself like that? A white racist? You're calling me racist whilst pointing out my skin colour before then going on to insult me. Make that make sense. A pure example of how fucked up our society is at the moment. Hello from across the pond, really love your commentary. Oh, thank you, Rob. Hello from Britain, UK. It's possible to dislike the woke shit whilst being against discrimination. Thank you, RRL Music. It's really hard to express your opinion now without being accused of being homophobic or transphobic or racist. It's really, really difficult. I think we should all be entitled to have an opinion on these things without being sort of shoved into a corner verbally and accused of being something that we're not. After all, doesn't Russell have something between his legs and he loves showing how progressive he is? He's hugely out of touch and clinging to identity politics. Yes, thank you. This was what I was trying to explain in my last video. Yeah, identity politics is my main problem with Doctor Who. I think whilst it's great to spread awareness, you know, gender identity stuff that is obviously becoming a thing in our modern day society in the real world, but I feel like Doctor Who is jumping on the bandwagon of more likely to brainwash rather than help people. I think it's confusing an audience. I think it's highlighting things that don't necessarily need to be highlighted to this extent. I just think it's just unnecessary. And as I said in my last video, it's a 62-year-old show. It's holding generations of all kinds. It's just not going to work. Not a great fan. Enough said. I'll be enjoying the next season, the ones after that, like I have for 30 years. Alright, Gloria, Jesus, okay. Lecter Firefall. They will blame toxic fans for the cancellation. No responsibility taken. Problem is, this is the Sun. Tabloids are not renowned for their artistic integrity. I definitely think the writing is on the wall. Has Ncuti really been fired? Has that been verified? Well, I personally wouldn't know because I don't work for the BBC, thank God. Morbid horror. I thought that said morbid whore then. Your opinion is bad and you should feel bad. Okay. Neil MacDonald. Using the Down Market Sun as a source. Would the axe really fall for the Eurovision miss? To be fair, if you do your research, before I did the video, every newspaper is saying the same thing. Now again, I'm not saying it's true because I wouldn't know. I don't work for the BBC and I don't work for these newspapers. But they all get their information from somewhere, so you have to remember that. So maybe don't call out the Sun specifically for being a bad newspaper just because they're probably saying something that you don't particularly agree with. Maybe it's important to do your research before you kick off on the Sun. It's political correctness gone mad. Very logical and rational, so you will be criticised. Yeah, don't we know it, Richard? Friendly Yotaku. Eh? It's not logical nor rational since it is wrong. I didn't write the article. Rod McPhee wrote the article. I just read it out. Don't shoot the messenger. Mickey Thompson. We'll be seeing how wrong it is in just a couple of weeks, won't we? Make sure you're sitting down. I love it when people write a comment and then others jump in and they start arguing amongst themselves. Internet drama at its finest. Make sure you're sitting down. Shocks are best absorbed with the knees bent. Oh dear. Doctor Who used to be for everyone, now it's for hardly anyone. With you on there, Sorvad. The problem is not who it is for, it is who it is against. It is against working class, cisgender, straight, white Englishmen. Current Doctor Who tells them they deserve to have everything taken from them. Ooh, God, you guys are delving in deep here, but I'm proud of you. After Capaldi, it really went from Doctor Who to woke to what? Friendly Yotaku. Yotaku. You already commented. God, you only get one comment. It's not fair otherwise. We'll read it anyway because this one has intrigued me. Another YouTuber falling down the grifting rabbit hole. No, it's just my opinion and I'm just reading out an article that a journalist has written. Also, Doctor Who is and has always been woke. Well, yeah, to an extent, like in a healthy, moderate quantity. But yeah, I'll give you that one. It has always been a little bit woke. It's a bit over the top now, don't you think? You would know if you actually watched or paid attention to the series, which you clearly don't. Not since Jodie Whittaker. No, I don't. And why would I? Crap. Also, the Sun is a disgusting and pathetic rag that is known for lying and making up stuff. Well, so does every journalist. We also know the show is not... God, calm down, man. Jesus, it's not that deep. The show is not getting axed and will continue thanks to the Mirror's Nicola Mifflin, who is very reliable and has an excellent track record of correct reports. And for the second time, I never said it was true. I made it clear as day in the video. Oh, I love Mickey Thompson. Oh, I love it. Oh, another self-comfort post. Sad news for you when you wake up and smell the coffee. Doctor Who now has the lowest viewing numbers in its entire history. Thank you, Mickey Thompson. This is what I'm trying to explain. Viewing figures are irrelevant in this day and age. Are you being serious? Really? I'm not even going to read the rest of that because that's just coming from someone that clearly has never worked in the industry and has no idea how it works. Oh, hi! David Roberts. There is no way a show like Doctor Who could return considering the Canon has been destroyed and was used as a political platform to project a message and there is no way back. This is exactly my problem. I feel like they've made a political joke out of Doctor Who in a sense. I feel sorry for the long-time fans who have had their show hijacked for virtual signalling and Gatwa was more of an activist than an actor. I don't know enough about him personally, but I can see how that would be true. I think Disney have pulled the plug. They know this woke crap is poison. They have had so many failures over the last 5 years. Agreed. With Iron Heart being the next, the viewing figures says it all. Ever since the Jodie era, they have nosedived. Yep, agreed. I stopped watching it from Jodie Whittaker. I would still try and check in now and then to see if the storylines were getting a bit better, but they just never did, because Christopher Chibnall, was that his name? I just was not a fan of his writing. The only times I've really tuned in to watch it was when they brought David Tennant back as the 14th Doctor, and to me that was a clear tactic to try and get the show back on track, but we sort of knew that it was potentially going to go back downhill with the new actor. Not because I think he's a bad actor, Ncuti, but because I sort of knew that they was probably going to resume back to the really bad storylines. For the first time ever, I'm happy with no more Doctor Who. RTD and anyone who had anything to do with the writing in the last 2 Doctor stories should not be let anywhere near it again. When Capaldi said, "Doctor, I let you go," he did. What came after was not Doctor Who. Yeah, very much agreed with you, Mark. Very much agree. Oh, this one I really agree with. Anthony Frew, it needs to take its time to tell the stories. It is all very rushed. Yes, it is. For example, when they introduced Belinda, as soon as Series 2 started, when she's been first introduced, I thought it was way too rushed. I didn't know what the hell was going on. Like, normally in Doctor Who, it's been when he picks up a companion, it takes them like a good 2 odd episodes, sometimes 3, to get used to the fact that he's a time traveller, and they're just super freaked out. And Belinda, it was like an everyday thing,
TARDIS, yeah, cool. Okay, can you get me home now?
An older Doctor may be a bright idea, less one-dimensional villains, no overkill musical soundtracks, yeah. I mean, I love a musical, don't get me wrong, guys. I really like Wicked and, Miss Saigon and Jazz Boys, and, because my mum used to take me all round to the West End in London, so, yeah, I do love a musical. But Doctor Who was never a musical, and the fact that Russell T Davies is trying to sort of insert musical moments into this, where people just suddenly burst out into song, it just makes it really cringe, because Doctor Who has never been that kind of show. It still has its moments, but it is lacking something. Please stop the crying, even if it is not show after show, it feels as if it is. Let me stress, it is not the actors, but what they have to work with. Exactly. I do not dislike any of the actors. I do want to stress that. I didn't even hate Jodie Whittaker. I thought she was good. I just was not getting into the episodes and the storylines. It was just really shit in my eyes. If it wasn't for Chibnall, I think Jodie Whittaker would have took off a lot better, and Ncuti Gatwa would have had way more chance. Well said in your analysis of the show. Spot on. Thank you, Derek. Thank you. I want to see the showrunner of the Star Wars Andor. I personally have never really watched Star Wars, but I trust your judgment there. Take over after a 3-year hiatus and return Doctor Who to its past glory. The 1970s and early 2005. Yep, completely agree. It was amazing. No hate here. Absolutely 100% agree with everything you said here. Oh, thank you, Sci-Fi. Water bottle man. Cat. Was you cuddling a hot water bottle at the time when you wrote that 3-lettered word? Thanks though. Natsman Prime. I love how you pronounce shitty instead of shooty. I do say shooty. I say shooty, didn't I? Shooty. Ncuti Gatwa. But I suppose because I say it quite quickly, it does sound like I'm saying shitty. I guess it's my London accent. This might be wishful thinking on part of the Sun. They do make stuff up. Yeah, well, again, all journalists do. However, the last time Doctor Who was put on hiatus, it didn't come back for another 16 years. Well deserved this time, considering the quality of the stories, yeah. Ever since the bastard child of a human and gerbil had fucked up, but RTD, for reasons I can't work out, decided not only to mock the fans and piss us off further, but he kept up the woke crap. I've been saying this from day one when they made him the new Doctor. I mean, I had high hopes for Ncuti, but I don't think the storyline's doing justice. I totally agree with you. I've been a Doctor Who fan since the 70s, and it's never been as bad as it is now. It's a joke at the moment. Everything woke turns to shit. Doctor Who back in the 70s with Pertwee and Baker regularly got ratings of 9 to 10 million on a tiny budget. Today's Doctor Who gets ratings of less than 3 million on a massive budget. Yeah, that's another point that I forgot to point out in my last video. They seem to have this massive budget for all these additional effects. For example, in the Doctor Who and Matt Smith era, they would make all the costumes from scratch, whereas now I think a lot of them are computer generated. CGI that makes it look proper fake. It's not my cup of tea when they do things like that. All the woke debate aside, aside, it's a simple numbers game. People aren't watching Doctor Who in its current format to justify its hefty price tag. So that's, I didn't get to read all of the comments because there were so many of you, but those were the main ones that really got me giggling, and some that I just really appreciated you sharing your opinions. But yeah, that's today's upload, folks. I would have liked to sort of fit in more of my opinion about Wishworld, the part 1 of the finale that's just come out. This video will be too long if I go into that now. So what I'll do is I'll put that into my next upload, folks, with you guys. And in the next video, folks, we can talk about the part 2 of the finale called The Reality War, which I believe is coming out on the 31st of May, isn't it? But yeah, I hope you found this upload fun. And thank you so much, everyone, for responding to my last video. And yeah, I hope to see you all again in my next upload, folks. Again, don't forget to subscribe and check my other content. Bye!